The agenda for this session is I'm going to do a brief introduction on why report writers and tools are useful and why they are important. And then I will do a brief overview and uses of Crystal reports. Not going to get too much into the functionality. Unfortunately, the time limitation that we have, can't do too many demonstrations or reports, but we'll go over Crystal reports. And then Andy will discuss SQL reporting services. He'll do an overview, a comparison versus Crystal, and he will do a demonstration as this is new to a lot of people on this session. And then we'll do a brief exact software positioning on both Crystal and Microsoft Reporting Services that we have learned from the Engage conference a few weeks back. And then we'll have, as Zach mentioned, the Q&A session at the end. So jumping into why using a reporting tool, why this is beneficial to you and your business, we found that with the experiences with our customers is there is a wealth of knowledge within your databases from your McCulloch or Synergy products that get kind of lost in the entry of your day-to-day business. And this information, while is saved within your database, the exact canned reports that you normally run on a day-to-day operation doesn't have that information. So using a reporting tool allows you to get access to that data to be able to analyze your business, create KPI reports to analyze performance or key performance indicators that you may want to evaluate your business on. So using a reporting tool such as Crystal or SQL Reporting Services allows you to access that data. Using reporting tools also, no two companies have this exact same reporting needs. So the reports that Exact has provided in their products, while they may be beneficial for one company, another company may not benefit them at all. So to design a generic report within the software is pretty difficult because of the different reporting needs by various customers. So having a reporting tool allows you to customize and make reports specific to your exact needs. With regards to reporting, a couple complaints that we hear is this report has almost everything we need except this, meaning that they would like to have another field added, or they would need another filter added to the report that would help limit the data. Conversely with that, it has everything you need, but we need to limit that data, so we need to filter it down or remove fields because the report is taking 10 pages when it could be done in 2. So having these report builders allows you to customize your reports to your needs. And then the last complaint that we hear quite frequently is that the data is out there, you enter it, but you can't access it. This is very true if you're using user-defined fields or custom tables and actually multiple databases where you have this data and you want to consolidate it and display it into a friendly interface that you can report on. The reports using user-defined fields, they are available and you can enter it, but there's no way to do reporting on it, so using reporting tools allows you to get that data. Without further ado, we'll talk briefly about Crystal reports. Crystal reports is the most common and popular report developer on the market. Allows access to multiple data sources, anything that has an open database connection, SQL, Excel Access, Oracle, many different open database structures. It allows you to access those. So if you have multiple legacy systems, you can do reporting on each of those within Crystal, as well as combine that data as long as there's some sort of data link between the databases there. Allows you to create real-time refreshable data as opposed to exporting something to Excel. That data may become obsolete within a matter of a few minutes, where Crystal allows you to refresh the data to get real-time as the data is put into your system. And anyone familiar with databases know that the data that's stored in the database tables and views are pretty complex and not very user-friendly to determine that data. So using Crystal allows you to format that data in a presentable interface, as well as allows you to do other things such as filtering, sorting, grouping, and bring totals in there. And then Crystal is embedded in many ERP and CRM products, including both McCulloch Progression and McCulloch ES, as well as WISIS tools use Crystal reports. SAP Business One, which we offer, uses Crystal reports, so it's a very common reporting tool in many markets. The screen that we have here is a useful tool because probably on a weekly basis, I probably have to answer this two to three times a week about Crystal versions and what Crystal versions customer needs to purchase or should use. And really depends on the version of McCulloch or your ERP software that you're using, because you want to have a those products have a runtime version of Crystal embedded within it. You want to have a version of Crystal developer that you would design reports that's compatible with that runtime. You notice that we have kind of next to the version of Crystal, I have the manufacturer of that version. Notice that Crystal has been rebranded and sold by multiple companies over the last few years. And then the boxes around it, the versions, kind of signify the compatibility levels with Crystal. Notice that if you're running a McCulloch version that has Crystal 11 runtime components, the Crystal 10 developer is compatible with Crystal 11, so you don't have to purchase a new version of Crystal if you updated your runtime. The caveat to that is if the reports that's embedded with your runtime version of Crystal is using a functionality that's not available in the prior versions, which none of the McCulloch reports are, then you lose that functionality. But if you were to run the latest version of Progression or ES and had Crystal 11, you can modify those reports with Crystal 10. There's no need to have to go to a newer version of Crystal. The real limitation there begins with your operating system. Crystal 11 is the first one that supports the newest version of Windows 7. So, if you were to design reports and had to purchase a new computer with Windows 7, you'd have to have a Crystal 11 developer license there. Uses within Progression. It still baffles me or surprises me a lot that many of our customers don't realize that Progression has embedded Crystal reports within the Progression Workflow Explorer application. You'll notice that below that with the open item reports I'm just showing for an example, has two versions of the report. One is a standard COBOL, which is kind of ASCII characters, designed in anything you can do on a keyboard. But the second option is a Crystal report, which if you go there, it shows the report name. And if it is a Crystal report, it can be modified. So you can add logos, add or remove fields, customize anything you want to do there, as well as you can have multiple versions of the same report, where you can maybe have something for domestic customers or international, or have different versions there that you may need. Uses within McCulloch ES. Almost all of the reports with McCulloch ES are Crystal. There still are some of the old reports with COBOL still out there, but they're trying to phase those out as they move forward with Crystal reports, as well as the forms such as pick or packing lists, order invoices, purchase orders, things like that. They are all pretty much phasing out with Crystal versions that go back and actually update the database to change statuses and assign invoice numbers and things like that. And again, if it is a Crystal report, it can be modified. All the reports are located within each workstation within the directory specified there. And also a new functionality that many people don't know about, any custom report that you have that's outside of the standard McCulloch reports can be added to the McCulloch ES menu without consuming a Crystal license. So if you have a report that you've designed, let's say a financial report or a KPI report, and only one person has a developer license of Crystal, you can attach that to McCulloch ES where any user can run, and they don't have to install anything separately as long as they have a McCulloch ES installation on their workstation. And there's the path there of where you can attach those reports. And the last thing to talk about Crystal is some other uses and distribution options that you have. Event Manager, which is a separate product, allows you to schedule reports that can do automatically. Also can run based on events that trigger a report and can pass parameters to a report to email to a particular user at a particular time. With the older versions of Crystal 7 and 8.5, there were distribution components that allowed you to create executables. So one person could design reports and then send it off to other users where they could run and refresh the reports as they needed without consuming a license. With the newer versions, starting with Crystal 10, they've gone away from that model with the report distributors, but there are other options, namely Crystal Reports Server, and on a side note, on a little smaller level, crystalreports.com allows you to manage all your reports into a single repository where then you can assign users rights and roles to be able to refresh and distribute reports. And then with that, there's also a number of Crystal runtime components that allows you to refresh the reports. Copernico reports, which Justin Zimmerman will be talking later this morning, I believe over the lunch hour. And then Recrystallize reports, that's a web-based tool, but there's a number of runtime components that's available on the market without which are usually cheaper than buying a full version of Crystal to develop.